You just paid $50,000 for a used truck that's going to need $10,000 in repairs before you even hit your first oil change. And the worst part is that the dealership knew it the second you walked in the door. How much money have you already lost on a truck without even realizing it? And what's the one question you wish you had asked before you signed on that dotted line? Go ahead and drop your worst dealership experience in the comments right now, because after today, you are never going to look at a used truck lot the same way again. Let me take you inside the mind of a used truck sales manager for just a minute, because this is where the real damage happens. You see that clean, lifted diesel crew cab with the spotless Carfax report and the tires that still have the little rubber nubs on them? That truck came off a 3-year lease from a guy who towed a 38-foot camper across the Rocky Mountains every single weekend, and he never once changed the transmission fluid. But here's the scary part. The dealership has a way to make that truck smell like new car air freshener, shine like a diamond, and drive smooth for exactly the first 200 miles. After that, you're the one holding the bag when the transmission starts slipping on the interstate. And it gets worse, because there is a secret that truck dealerships pray you never learn. It's called the lot rot repair sheet, and it exists for every single used truck that comes in off the street. When a truck gets traded in, the service bay does a multi-point inspection that the sales floor never wants you to see. That inspection lists every single thing that is broken, worn out, or about to fail. Then the sales manager takes that list, circles the absolute cheapest fixes that will make the truck last through the test drive, and throws the rest of the sheet in the shredder. You are not buying a truck. You are buying a ticking time bomb with a fresh wax job. Now think about the last time you test drove a truck. Did you take it on the highway? Did you get it up to 75 miles an hour and then hit the brakes hard? Did you turn the steering wheel all the way to the lock and listen for a clicking sound? Of course you didn't, because the salesman was sitting right there talking about the heated seats and the sunroof, distracting you from the death wobble that is going to show up 3 weeks after you drive it off the lot. That death wobble is not a mystery. It is a known issue on certain heavy-duty trucks, and the dealership absolutely knew about it before they handed you the keys. Here is a specific example that is costing truck owners thousands of dollars right now. On many diesel trucks from the last 10 years, there is a part called the CP4 fuel pump. If you own a truck with a CP4, you are sitting on a time bomb that can destroy your entire fuel system in a matter of seconds. The pump fails internally, sends metal shavings through your injectors, your fuel rails, your tank, and your lines, and the repair bill is rarely less than $10,000. Dealerships know exactly which trucks still have the original CP4 pump, and they will sell you that truck with a smile while quietly hoping you don't ask about it. And if you do ask, they will say, "We haven't seen any issues with this one," which is a lie wrapped in a compliment. But let me tell you about the hidden problem that scares dealerships more than anything else, because this is where you can actually catch them red-handed. Rust. Not the rust you can see on the fender wells or the rocker panels. I'm talking about the rust that lives inside the frame rails, behind the bumpers, and underneath the plastic trim along the doors. Dealerships have a spray-on product that looks and feels exactly like factory undercoating, but it is actually a rubberized sealant that traps moisture against the metal. They spray it over existing rust, it looks perfect for about 6 months, and then one day you hit a pothole and a chunk of your frame falls off onto the road. You cannot sue them for this, by the way, because they will claim it was a cosmetic application and you signed a paper saying the truck was sold as is. That piece of paper is the dealership's best friend and your worst nightmare. Now here is the part where you might be thinking, okay, but I bought my truck new, so I'm safe. Absolutely not. Brand new trucks come off the factory line with problems that manufacturers have known about for years, but refuse to fix because a recall would cost them billions. Take the 10-speed automatic transmission that is in half the full-size trucks on the road today. When it works, it's smooth and efficient. When it fails, and it will fail on a certain percentage of trucks, you get hard shifts, slipping gears, and eventually a complete loss of drive power while you are merging onto a busy highway. The dealership service department has a technical service bulletin for this problem, but they are not allowed to tell you about it unless you specifically complain about the symptoms. And even then, their first fix is a software reflash that does nothing but reset the transmission's computer, so the problem goes away for another 3,000 miles. Before we go any further, if you want to keep your truck out of the repair shop and your money in your wallet, you need to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel right now. I am going to keep showing you the secrets that dealerships do not want you to know, and the only way you are going to see them is if you stick around. So go ahead, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next video, where I show you exactly how to inspect a used truck like a forensic mechanic. Alright, let's get back to the money you are losing. One of the biggest mistakes truck buyers make is falling in love with the previous owner's modifications. You see a truck with a 6-inch lift, big mud tires, a tuner chip, and an aftermarket exhaust, and you think you are saving money by letting someone else pay for all those upgrades. But here is what the dealership is not telling you. That lift kit was probably installed by the previous owner in his driveway with a floor jack and a YouTube video. The angles on the front drive shaft are now wrong, the CV axles are binding, and the alignment was never properly corrected. Those big mud tires are wearing out your wheel bearings and ball joints 5 times faster than stock tires would. And that tuner chip that adds 100 horsepower? It has also been cooking your transmission fluid and putting so much heat into your pistons that you are going to need a rebuild before 100,000 miles. The dealership took that truck on trade for pennies on the dollar because they knew exactly how much damage those mods had already done, and then they marked it up 10 grand and sold it to someone who just thought it looked cool. And it gets even sneakier. Have you ever noticed how dealerships always seem to have the perfect lighting in their service drive? That is not an accident. The bright fluorescent lights make the paint look flawless, but they also wash out the subtle color differences that would reveal bodywork. A truck that has been in a major accident and repaired poorly will have paint that looks perfect under those lights, but if you take it out into the sun, you will see different shades of the same color, wavy body panels, and overspray on the rubber seals. Dealerships know this, which is why they will keep you inside the showroom or under the service drive lights for as long as possible. They will even park the truck you want next to another truck that has a slightly different color, just to confuse your eyes. This is not paranoia. This is a trained sales tactic that is taught in dealership management courses. Let me give you a specific year, make, and model so you understand how real this is. The 2015 to 2019 Ford F-150 with the 5.0-liter V8 has a known issue where the oil consumption is so bad that some trucks burn a quart every 1,000 miles. Ford issued multiple technical service bulletins, but they never did a full recall because the fix requires new piston rings, which means tearing the entire engine down. If you buy one of these trucks used, the dealership will tell you that all trucks use a little oil and send you on your way. But 6 months later, you are adding a quart every time you get gas, and your catalytic converters are clogged with burned oil, which is another $2,000 repair. The salesman who sold you that truck knew. He knew because the previous owner traded it in specifically because of the oil consumption. And the dealership still put it on the lot with a fresh oil change and a prayer. Now here is the emotional punch that most truck owners never see coming. You finally buy the truck of your dreams. You drive it home. You park it in your driveway, and you feel like you have made it. Then 3 months later, you start hearing a noise. A small noise at first, like a tick or a rattle that goes away when the engine warms up. You ignore it because you do not want to believe there is a problem. 6 months later, that noise is louder, and now the check engine light is on. You take it to a mechanic and he tells you that the cam phasers are failing, or the lifters are collapsing, or the turbo is eating itself alive. The repair estimate is $6,000. You go back to the dealership where you bought the truck, and they tell you that your warranty expired 17 days ago. 17 days. And they say it with a straight face while handing you a business card for their service department. That is not a mistake. That is by design. They timed your warranty to run out right when the known problems on that truck tend to show up. It is called warranty stacking, and it is completely legal. But the single most expensive mistake you can make, the one that costs truck owners more money than anything else, is not doing a pre-purchase inspection from an independent mechanic. I know you think you know trucks. You have owned trucks your whole life. You can change your own oil and swap out a set of brake pads. That does not matter. An independent mechanic with a lift, a scan tool, and no connection to the dealership will find problems in 20 minutes that you would never see in 100 test drives. They will find the rebuilt title that the dealership forgot to mention. They will find the mismatched tire sizes that are destroying the transfer case. They will find the frame damage that has been painted over. And here is the best part. Most dealerships will let you do this if you ask, but they are counting on you not asking. They are betting that you will be too excited, too impatient, or too trusting to spend the $150 on an inspection that could save you $10,000. And if a dealership refuses to let you take a truck for an independent inspection, that is not a red flag. That is a 5-alarm fire. That is them telling you, without saying a word, that there is something wrong with that truck that they do not want you to find. You need to walk away from that deal so fast that your shoes leave skid marks on their floor. There is no exception to this rule. None. Zero. If they say no, you say goodbye. Let me leave you with one final secret that most truck owners will never hear, and it is going to sound crazy at first. The best time to buy a used truck is not when there are a lot of trucks on the lot. It is when there is only one truck that fits your needs. Because when a dealership has 40 trucks in stock, they are playing a volume game. They want to move metal, and they will discount aggressively. But when they have one truck that you want, they have all the power. The real secret is to find a truck that has been on the lot for more than 90 days. Every single dealership has a list of these trucks, and they are losing money every day that those trucks sit. The interest on the loan they took out to buy that truck from the auction is eating into their profit margin. The longer it sits, the more desperate they get. You can walk in on the 91st day and offer $5,000 below asking price, and there is a very good chance they will take it just to stop the bleeding. But they will never tell you how long a truck has been on the lot unless you ask. And even then, they might lie. So you have to check the date on the window sticker yourself. That little number in the corner that looks like an inventory code. That is often the date it was listed. Learn to read it, and you will save thousands. You are not just buying a truck. You are buying a decade of your life, tens of thousands of dollars, and the safety of everyone you love who rides in that cab with you. The dealership does not care about any of that. They care about their commission, their monthly bonus, and getting that truck off their lot before it becomes a problem for them instead of you. So the next time you walk onto a used truck lot, do not be the excited buyer who falls in love with the paint and the leather. Be the buyer who asks about the CP4 pump, who gets under the truck with a flashlight and a screwdriver, who checks the frame rails for rust, who pulls the oil cap and looks for sludge, who takes it to an independent mechanic before signing a single piece of paper. Be the buyer that dealerships hate to see coming. And if you want to know exactly what to look for on specific makes and models, stay tuned because the next video is going to break down the most reliable used trucks under $20,000 and the ones you should not take for free. Hit that subscribe button right now if you have not already, and I will see you in the next one. Your wallet will thank you.